Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, esteemed guests, and most importantly, our graduates of 2020. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to our faculty's first fully virtual pledge ceremony today. Along with the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences management team and staff, I wish to extend my warmest congratulations to all those who will pledge to uphold the values of this faculty and those of the professions you are joining. The Health Professionals Pledge is undoubtedly one of the most important commitments made by an individual entering a health profession. Your participation in this ceremony today allows you to make a promise to be a health professional who respects people, treats others with dignity, integrity, and compassion. In a country currently grappling with the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, your commitment to caring for your patients and everyone around you is even more significant. A second wave of this once-in-a-century event has descended upon our population, and it is our duty as health professionals to ensure that we protect the health and safety of each and every person we interact with, including ourselves. We trust that the commitment you make today will serve as your guiding light as you commence your professional career in a markedly different world. On behalf of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all family members and friends of our graduates, and thank you for sharing today with us. Thank you for joining in and celebrating the success of our students and for your invaluable support and involvement during their years of study. Class of 2020, before we commence with the official pledge ceremony, I'd like to remind you that this event is being live streamed and that a recording of it will be made available hereafter. Please accept my well wishes to each of you as you conclude your journey with us today. We will now observe the entrance of the academic procession.
Morning, goeiemorgen, molweni. My name is Julia Blitz. I'm the Vice Dean for Learning and Teaching in the faculty. Congratulations to you all, our 2020 graduates. Please give yourselves a round of applause, and those in the room are welcome to join. It gives me enormous pleasure to welcome you all today to this important milestone and celebratory event. I welcome not only those here in this room, but also those participating online. Most importantly, I welcome you who will be graduating and your family and friends who are watching. But also our guest speaker, Dr. Beth Engelbrecht, Professor Jimmy Volmink, the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, Professor Nico G. van Pitjes, the Vice Dean, Research and Internationalization, Laura Fredericks, the Deputy Registrar and Head for the Center for Student Administration, the Executive Heads of Departments, Heads of Relevant Divisions, Program Coordinators, Academic and Support Staff of the Divisions of Human Nutrition, Occupational Therapy, Physiotherapy, and Speech, Language, and Hearing Therapy, and all other partners, colleagues, and staff who I cannot see as they are attending the ceremony virtually. Welcome, everybody. The ceremony will begin with a message from our guest speaker. Then the graduands will take the pledge, and finally, Prof. Volmink will go through each of the programs, reading the names of each graduand. Please have a seat. So every year, the faculty invites a special guest to this event to share some words of inspiration with you as you embark on your exciting new journey. I would like to introduce Dr. Beth Engelbrecht. Qualified as a medical doctor in the 80s from the University of the Free State, also received her master's in family medicine and diplomas in health administration and community medicine from the same university. After spending some time as a medical officer, she soon started leading important initiatives at a provincial and national level in the public service. The last 19 years, Dr. Engelbrecht has been with the Western Cape Health Department, which she was head from 2015 to 2020. She has thus played a crucial role in your training through enabling our faculty's access to the Department of Health sites and staff. Dr. Engelbrecht has received many accolades in recognition of her effective and efficient leadership and innovations in service delivery. She attributes these to inclusive management and servant leadership. Certainly, through the partnership between the faculty and the Department of Health, I came to know her style as that of nurturing a person-centered culture, affirming people and their ideas, and in the bleakest of situations, looking for and finding the hope that would encourage people to keep going. Not being bogged down by the problem, but looking for the how to get to the solution. She's passionate about health systems, leadership and governance, and making a difference in people's lives. Dr. Engelbrecht apparently retired. That is in inverted commas. But we hope that that retirement would bring her more time to attend to the rest of her life. Married with 4 children, but possibly even more importantly, with 5 grandchildren, and also enjoys reading, sport, and being a volunteer at sand parks. Dr. Engelbrecht, we look forward to your message. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Professor Volmink, Professor Blitz, Professor Guy van Pythius, all the students who are our health professionals, all the lecturers, the academic staff, and all the families and loved ones who are present here in spirit, if not in body. Thank you very much for this invitation. University of Stellenbosch has always been very close to my heart. I always say it's one of the best things for me not to have studied in either Stellenbosch University or UCT, so that nobody can say I've got a bias to one of these universities whilst I was the head of department of the Western Cape. So today is a day of immense gratitude. This has been a very trying year, but we've conquered and we came through one of the most difficult years of our lives. We've learned a lot, but we've also learned how to be able to conquer. And yet we've won the race, and we are today taking the pledge of the service to humanity. I would also like to personally congratulate the students. Some of them will get big prizes today, but also thank you for serving our patients. So whilst you are training, you're also serving patients. Patients who don't have other choices, and you are making a difference in their lives. So pledges and oaths these days have lost their honor. Your pledge today is a commitment to humanity. It's a commitment to service. It's a commitment to your own integrity. And it's also a connection to your own inner self. It comes from within. So what I did in preparation for this input today, I approached the 3 heads of divisions and just asked them, do they perhaps have any particular messages for the students today? So I'm extracting a few of those thoughts. Professor Susan Hannekom from physiotherapy. She said one definite characteristic of the group that was noticed this year was their camaraderie, concern and care for each other. The message that you would like to put across to them for their future careers is that of tough and dark times will come again, and it will also pass. They endured and persevered, taking it one day at a time, and now looking back, that very difficult time seems so far away. They need to keep in mind that change is inevitable and flexibility a requirement to cope with it. But together we are stronger and we can do it together. All we need is to care. Students, you have shown us your dedication and resilience this year, and you have been successful in completing your degree under difficult circumstances. Also, you've maintained high levels of professionalism and integrity in becoming a qualified physiotherapist. Hold on to these virtues. Please stay in touch and let us know about your career. Then Professor Nicola Plasto from occupational therapy. She said it's been a very difficult year for her personally. She, for a while, could not even engage with the students, and today would have been the first time that she would have been in the same room as all her students. She reflected on the annual drumming, African drumming, which is facilitated by Bevel Spence of Drumba, and it seems like this is the highlight of the students, and even this, she could not participate with the students. She also referred to 2 students who could, I nearly said escape, who could get to Namibia at the start of lockdown and have not been able to get back to South Africa since, and that she expressed her gratitude to the colleagues of the University of Namibia who helped ensure that the students completed their clinical work and they needed to graduate. She also referred to Saskia Lowe, who's getting married this weekend, and something special for this student as well. Then lastly, I spoke to Professor Darlene Klopp of speech, language and hearing therapy. She also refers to the challenging year, and what was most impressive for her was the resilience that was displayed by students and staff. So I was asked to share a bit of my insights and experience. And I wish to connect to the message of inner strength that came from these 3 heads of divisions. And I would like to ask you to think about your dash. So a dash is not the dashboard of your car. Your dash is, you know, when you kind of leave Earth, they say you're born, and then there's a dash, and then death. No, that dash, how will your dash look like? So think about that whilst I'm talking. So from a health system perspective, the one thing I've learned is that health is a system. And a system means you've got various components. And all those components are connected. And the strength of those connections will determine the strength and the resilience of the system. And what makes those connections to work? It's relationships, it is caring, it is kindness. And how do we make sure that those relationships, being professionals, is strong in any health system? So students who listen today, wherever you find yourself in the future, you will work in a system, whether public or private, you will work in a system, and keep that in mind. The second thing I've learned was about leadership. Now, leadership is one of those things that we believe that if you have influence over one individual, you are a leader. And there's nobody who's listening here today who do not have influence over at least one person. But what does it mean then to be a leader, even if you have influence over one person? That means that you have to show leadership, that you have to display the values that goes with that, integrity, accountability, respect. That is leadership. I've also learned that leadership is about getting people to work in teams, not only all physios or all OTs, but how does the whole transdiscipline groupings work together for the better of the patient. The focus is always on what's the best for the patient and for the system. I've also learned that leadership must be distributed. It doesn't help to have leadership only at the top and nobody else is allowed to make decisions. How do you get there? You have to empower and you have to make sure that people know that they can take decisions. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you know that you're learning from them. I've also learned that leadership is the one thing that is required in today's world of VUCA. Now, VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And when all of us are experiencing this COVID time, this is VUCA in its extreme. And this is where leadership is so important for us to take own responsibility, to wear your mask, to sanitize, to stay distance, but also if there's ambiguity, how do you become the one to say the right things, to do the right things, to make sure that you deal with those aspects? As part of leadership, I've also learned the power of kindness. If you're in a leadership position and you show kindness, people really follow and then start connecting to the message. If you first show warmth and then leadership, that is where the change can happen. I've also learned about power. So power in a position of leadership is where you have to make sure that you observe and distribute power across the whole system to make sure that everybody has their part of the total power of that organization for the better good of patients. The other aspects I've learned was about motivation. Now, if you've got time, just read the AMP framework of Dr. Pink. Now, Dr. Pink wrote several books, and one of his books is about, this is the last time you need any career advice. So AMP stands for your ability to have autonomy, to have mastery, and to have purpose. Those are all things that drive inner motivation. So many people would like this external motivation. You'll go and get a trip overseas or get a cash bonus or get other things from external to recognize you. You must not strive for recognition. It must come from within. And unless you work at mastery, unless you work in a space where your purpose is aligned with that organization's purpose and you are doing something for the greater good, you will be a very unhappy person. And then also work towards autonomy. Now, autonomy is always difficult in the public sector, even in the private sector. But make sure that you create your space by which you can take decisions that is the best for your patients. What I've also learned is mindset and a growth mindset. So that stands in a contrast to a fixed mindset. And very often people think, even when they look at others, that they start describing a person, put labels on. Don't put a label on yourself or on anybody else. Put yourself on a growth path. That means you have to get out of your comfort zone. That means that you have to keep on learning. That means that for you to be able to the growth point, you have to get out of your comfort zone. I've also learned that as part of mindset and as part of being connected is what is the cutting edge for humanity? The cutting edge for humanity is to be able to connect to people, and that mindset of partnering, of connecting, and of showing respect. The last aspect I would like to touch on is what I've learned about inquiry. So one of the key things for us to be eternal students is to be very curious. But inquiry is something different. Inquiry is how you think about things around you. So how do you turn judgment into curiosity? How do you turn disagreement into exploration? How do you turn defensiveness into self-reflection? And how do you turn assumptions into questions? And those qualities of inquiry will be able for you to thrive in a space of VUCA, in all these uncertainties in our country and also in your career going forward. It might be in one of the divisional heads spoke about, you might not know all the answers about the patient in front of you. But if you apply inquiry, you'll find yourself connecting to the patient and doing the best and even getting better for that patient. So may some of my learnings also resonate with you, and when you start working on your dash, and make sure that one day when you reflect back, you can say that I've learned a lot, I continue to learn various facets of my life, and I've made a dash that I feel proud of. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May you walk in love, may you walk in life, and may you walk in wisdom. Thank you very much.
Dr. Engelbrecht, thank you very much for that inspiring message to our graduates, spoken not only from the heart, but from many years of experience. And for you at the end of your, I won't say career, but most recent job, to be speaking of learnings, I think speaks volumes about your own growth mindset. And I really like the notion of amped. I think most of our graduates are probably feeling rather amped today. I do hope they are. And so on their journey towards mastery, because I think that is a journey that we're on forever, may they also remember the autonomy and the purpose and to find that in their lives. So thank you very much for that message, very much appreciated. It's now time for our graduates to make the pledge. This is a pledge made in public to uphold the values of the faculty and the profession that you are joining. Graduates will be invited to stand and read the pledge, which will be shown on screen together with me. When you collect your degree certificates, pledge certificates will be also provided to you, one in each official language of English, Afrikaans, and isiXhosa. You are welcome to sign any or all of those and to keep them. You will also receive a pledge ceremony booklet, which includes the pledge and all your names. So in preparation, I'd like to invite you, wherever you are, to stand as you read the Health Professionals Pledge with me. Here we go. I freely and humbly pledge to be a health professional who respects people, cares for myself, and treats others with dignity, integrity, and compassion. I value who I am and can become as much as I value others for who they are and can become. I shall strive at all times to maintain patient confidentiality and to uphold the highest ethical standards in my practice. In an ever-changing world, I shall remain a curious, creative, and reflective health professional, respecting diverse ideologies, ideas, contexts, and solutions which matter to people, communities, and populations. I shall work with others as equal partners in striving for excellence in person-centered care. I commit to being an advocate for social justice, working to improve the living conditions, care experiences, and health outcomes of those entrusted to my care. I accept my responsibility to help build a sustainable future for all, by using resources with care, creativity, and diligence. Finally, I will at all times endeavor to provide care that helps and does no harm. That's the end of the pledge. Thank you for making what we believe is a profound pledge about your future careers. I now call upon Professor Jimmy Volmink, Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, to read the names of our graduates, starting with occupational therapy. Prof. Volmink.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Engelbrecht, other colleagues, friends, families, and especially our graduates. It is a real joy to be with you, even in this virtual space this morning. And I want to start off by congratulating you very warmly on your success. You've worked very hard over many years. You've persevered. You have not looked back. You have not allowed yourself to be distracted. And so we really want to warmly congratulate you on getting to this point in your career. We also take a moment to acknowledge that your success was also contributed to by a number of other people, including your teachers, your mentors, your families and friends at home. And to them, too, we'd like to express our thanks. Now, we as the faculty would have really preferred to be with you in person. That was the plan. But as we have seen during the entire year of 2020, it's been impossible to have any medium to long-term plans. That we've had to keep an eye on the pandemic situation, the dangers that it poses, and make decisions, often unpopular and last-minute decisions, but always decisions taken in the interest of safety and to protect you and ourselves. So I wanted to say that because I don't want that to be a damper to our celebration today. What the year has also taught us that we can do a lot of things online. For example, we have had at this faculty retirees functions. People who have been working here for 40 years, we've said goodbye to, and we've had to do it online. And they've been joyous, happy events. So I trust that this too will be such an event where wherever you are, that you will enter into the celebration with us. As Prof. Julia has said, I will now read the names of the successful candidates who are now our colleagues. I should now say welcome colleagues, and I should also say on behalf of the faculty, I would like to just welcome you into the fraternity of health professionals. You're not our students anymore, you're our colleagues, and we respect and honor you for that. What I'm going to do is, one program at a time, read the names that have been given to me, and I will also mention where there have been special achievements in terms of distinctions or awards that have been won. And wherever you are, you can celebrate that in whatever way you want. If it's a guttural scream or if it's a cartwheel or whatever it is, however you celebrate, please do that. inside this hall, I'm going to ask my colleagues at the end of each list of names, I'm going to give an opportunity for you to also enter into the celebration with an applause, if that's okay. So let us then start with the Bachelor of Occupational Therapy, Ayanda Bless. Next is Florence Nalugwa Bossa. Yana Marietta Buerta. Lisa Bron. Megan Brown. Clary Bass. Now here I have to say a few words. For one, is that Clary obtains her degree cum laude. And she is also awarded a prize as part of a group who performed best in the research project module. This prize is donated by Otasa and Usabenza. And as I go through the other names, I will mention who the other winners are who have shared this award. In this case, the prize will be accepted by Professor Nicola Plasto as the head of the division. Throughout this program, different people will receive the prizes on behalf of the students, and I won't always mention their names specifically, but they will either be a head of a division, as we have now, or a coordinator of a program. So keep that in mind. So well done to Clary Bass. Next is Nicole Casey Clark. Beth Naomi Connolly, who also passes the degree cum laude. Jacqueline Geraldine Patricia Cupido. Yasmin Vermey Elders. Deborah Chelsea Goldman. Chelsea passes the degree cum laude, and she shares the Rural Clinical School Student of the Year prize, awarded to students that make an exceptional contribution to improving community interaction and the health of a rural community. Again, the other students who share the prize will be announced as we read their names later. This prize has been sponsored by the Ukwanda Center for Rural Health. Next is Londo Gazi Gada, and then Kathleen Sarah Holcroft. Stephanie Justin Evelyn Hornsby Stoltz. Henry Janse van Rensburg. Henry also passes the degree cum laude and wins the prize for the best student in occupational therapy for her professional behavior during clinical work, an award that is sponsored by InStop, which is a private practitioner group. Logan Richardine Julius. Gemma Louise Kent. Tanya Creel. Saskia Yvonne Lowe receives the degree cum laude and wins the prize for the student in OT with outstanding achievement in clinical work in the final year. The prize being sponsored by Van Skyke Publishers. She also wins the prize for the student in occupational therapy who performed the best in the academic field over the 4 years of the program, a prize that has been donated by the Division of Occupational Therapy. Burnley Julia Mashaka. Ndisi Perfect Mavan Bela. She shares the Rural Clinical School Student of the Year Prize, awarded for students that make an exceptional contribution to improve community interaction and the health of a rural community. Naifa Mayet, Tasneem Ola, Kelly Pretorius, Patricia Pretorius, Kaylee Jane Rice. Now, Kaylee is a member of the group who received the prize for the Best Research Project. Ingrid Ruiz, Alexa Smith. Alexa is a member of the group who performed best in the module research project as well. Alicia Smith, who receives the degree cum laude. Tasneem Karen Stewart. Tamlin Michelle Elrieta Titus. Chanel Kalisanovia van Wyk. Lisa Wasserfall, who receives the degree cum laude. Ashika Williams, also a member of the group receiving the prize for the Best Research Project. And finally, in this group, Nina Isabella Fergus Wood. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Thank you, Professor Plaster. Now, announcing the names of the graduates in speech, language, and hearing therapy. Bernadine August, Nicole Brinch, Fatima Burton, Amy Jessie Carls, Isabel Ruth Davis. Isabel receives the degree cum laude, and she wins the P. de Villiers Pinar Prize for the best final year student in speech therapy academic. And this prize is sponsored by the South African Speech, Language and Hearing Association. Isabel also receives the SASLHA Prize for the best final year student in speech therapy clinical, sponsored by the South African Speech, Language and Hearing Association. Brion Dominic Duplessis, Estine Everson, Carly Jacobus, Zara Jainadine. So Zara is one of the members of the group who performed best in the research project, this program, an award which has been sponsored by the South African Speech, Language and Hearing Association. And again, I will mention the other members of the group later. Jade Belay Jeffries, Robin Gabe Jones, Michaela Donay Uester, Annelise Yobert, Idris Karani, Anamika Kotze, Anya Krier, who passes the degree cum laude. Inika Lopsha, Malashwani Elizabeth Maleke, Wilhelmina Helena Mila Malarba, Bongani Trinity Mativula, Celine Melissa Pegram, Zinat Sidat, Helene Lydia Sonicus, Helene is another member of the group who performed best in the research project. Catherine Elizabeth Frances Pringle Steiner. Abigail Tolmay. Estelle Annette van Dijk. Nicola van Wyk. Anja Vivier. Annemie Vogel. Marnay Foster. That brings us to the end of the list for speech language hearing therapy. Please join me in giving them a round of applause, please. And thank you to Ms. Hawa Dawood for her assistance. We previously had a oath pledge ceremony for the dietetics program, but it appears that there are a few additional names, perhaps people who couldn't make it to the last ceremony. So for BSc Dietetics, we only have 3 names to mention here. And they are Kirsten Emma Drake, who receives the degree cum laude, Isabella Panzenbock, and Tori Weiner. Please give them a round of applause. I now move on to the program BSc in Physiotherapy. Jana Akker, who receives the degree cum laude and who receives the prize for the physiotherapy student who performed the best in the module Clinical Physiotherapy. This prize is sponsored by the South African Physiotherapy Society. She also receives the prize for the physiotherapy student who performed the best in the module Applied Physiotherapy. And this is thanks to the Professional Providence Society. Ilana Brenda Bester, who receives the degree cum laude. Lara Bucas. Disha Bulia. Lindsay Bosman, who receives the degree cum laude. Raymond Fred Brunt. Monique Brunn. Natalie Mavis Roche Brouwers. Now, in this program, a prize is awarded to the research group who performed the best in the module Research Methodology. And Ms. Brouwers was one of the group members. The others will also be named later. This prize is donated by the Division of Physiotherapy. Danica Capers, Kaylin Sillier, Katia Maria da Silva. Katia receives the prize awarded to the student in physiotherapy for outstanding determination and professionalism during the degree program. And this is sponsored by the South African Physiotherapy Society. Raisha Dalvi. Chandray Lucretia Daniels. She's a member of the group who performed the best in the module Research Methodology. Joshua Ricardo Derek. Martina Dewangri. Sarah Cameron Duncan, who passes the degree cum laude. Warda Ibrahim. Misha Erasmus, receiving the degree cum laude, and who shares the prize for the best performance in the module Physiotherapy Professional Practice. The other names will be mentioned later. Enrica Guinness, Aisha Harun, Sijani Yunus, Shiwa Shirley Wang, Wadia Janse van Vieren, Cara Kleinhans, Angela Akar John Kyriakos, Frandine Christa Latergan, Matthew Lewis, Chris Marie Lombard, Carlene Renzi Marais, Nina McCarthy, Priyanka Krishnan Nair. She's a member of the group who performed the best in the module Research Methodology. Waldo Heinrich Nias is also a member of the group who performed best in the module Research Methodology. Jandri Willefee, another member of the group who performed best in the module Research Methodology. Gabriella Babette Prince, Chris Marie Simon, Alana Scott, Mujahid Shaikh, Ivy Joanne Shi, Muhammad Mishal Shira. He shares the prize for the best performance in the module Physiotherapy Professional Practice, a prize which is sponsored by PPS. Brad Timothy Simpson, Caitlin Jamie Solomons, Damien Stanford, Vilray Stefan, Lisa Marie Stein, Chardonnay Janine Stoffelser, Tiana Stradom. Danielle Joy Stutchbury, Michelle Taylor, Carley van der Merwe, Ellen Jane van der Walt, Stanzay van der Westhuizen, Petrus Martinez van Niekerk, Annika Vuljun, who receives the degree cum laude. Please give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your assistance, Dawn. So we have now read the names and announced all the graduates. And as has been mentioned, the pledge book and the certificates will be signed as you collect your certificates during the course of the week. It is now my pleasure to announce some very special awards. They're all special. This is extra special. First, the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Medal for the top academic achiever in the various programs. This is awarded to the graduate who achieved the highest marks for their entire degree. So first, Bachelor of Occupational Therapy. This student in the first year obtained a mark of 92.2%, second year 88.4%, third year 82.9%, and the fourth year 87.5%, giving an average of 87.77 over the 4 years. It's my pleasure to announce that this special recognition is being given to Saskia Yvonne Lowe. Next is the Bachelor of Speech, Language, and Hearing Therapy. In the first year, the student obtained a mark of 80.7, Second year, 81.8. Third year, 75.3. Fourth year, 75.46, giving an average of 78.32. And the award goes to Anya Krier. The remaining program is the BSc in Physiotherapy. Student received in the first year 85.1% average, next year 82.1, the third year 77.3, and the fourth year 76.6, with a total average of 80.25%. And the award goes to Misha Erasmus. And now, ladies and gentlemen, friends, we have the last set of awards. And this is the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Medal for a very special, outstanding student. A student who has not only been performing well academically, but has also been seen to live the values of the faculty and who epitomizes the faculty's vision of the future healthcare practitioner. And that is the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Medal. It gives me great pleasure to award the first medal to Clary Bass from the Bachelor of Occupational Therapy program. The award for Bachelor of Speech, Language and Hearing Therapy, the medal goes to Hannelisa Jobert. And lastly, in the BSc Physiotherapy program, the medalist is Muhammad Mishal Shira. Thank you very, very much for your help here in front. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, graduates, friends, families, we have now come to the end of this session, and I would like to just once again thank everyone who has participated. And again, want to say how extremely proud and pleased we are with the success of our students. I would like to, on behalf of the faculty, wish you well as you enter your career as a health professional. And I hope that you will stay in touch with us so that we can know how you're getting on and that you can advise us on how to do things better in the faculty. And hopefully we will also be able to lend a hand to whatever it is that you're doing. I'd like to thank the guest speaker, Dr. Engelbrecht, for a very stimulating and very inspiring message to all of us. Thank you. We all have taken that to heart. Thank you. It would also be remiss of me not to thank a few other people, especially those that have worked behind the scenes to make this event a success. I'd like to thank Menwin Sambur and the DPK Productions for the technical support for the event. I'd like to thank Salot Hanekom for the pledge ceremony arrangements. She worked really hard behind the scenes, and Farah and the other members of the team. Thank you so much for what you've done. And then the numerous funders who have contributed to the success of the graduates. But also, we'd like to thank those that have contributed in small ways, individuals who have contributed in various small ways to the Itemba Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences Bursary Fund, which has been a great help during these difficult times to ensure that the financial needs of our students could be met. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the very first virtual pledge ceremony, so you've made history. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day and also enjoy the virtual graduation to follow. Thank you.
Quando sono sola sogno l'orizzonte e mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu